Hello, watercolor people. I'm going to start doing another version of something like this with these receding hills. We're talking about watercolor painting in layers and glazing, going from light to dark, and several other things that I'll go into more. Here I have my line drawing of this basic composition. And what I'm going to be doing is trying, even though this brush might be just a hair small for this job, I'm going to try to create one large watery wash of peacock blue. Peacock blue is a phthalo blue in a green shade, but it's from Holbein, and I have found it to be the blue that stays sort of the truest to a cyan as possible, which lots of the phthalo blue green shades start out as, and then dry back much less impressive and exciting. But that's a large conversation. So I'm going to be doing a really watery, light wash over this big shape. Like I say, I'm trying to stay true to my students here who only have this a size 12 around. This is my Black Velvet by Silverbrush. But I'm taking it, if you want to know the truth, as a little personal challenge. There's a guy I've been watching on YouTube who does these wacky fast washes with just a relatively small brush and going straight down the page. But let's see what happens here. So like all of the kind of swatches and shapes we've been studying, I pretty much just start up in the upper left-hand corner and start laying in some color. Now I'm going to have to keep sort of going back to the well, as it were. Let's see here, because I want to try to create something that was very confusing for me for a long time. And that is this beaded, people call it beaded color. I call it sort of a pooling stripe of paint and water. And if I was really on my game, I could probably just do it straight down without coming back in and adding a little bit more. The idea is to go quickly, to keep adding a little bit of wet, watery color where it seems to be drying, and not want to fall down the page. Part of the trick for, because this is such a large shape for this relatively small brush, I am trying to make sure up here that I keep introducing a little bit more color and water to make sure that it's all indeed running running down and trying to get this big old rectangle covered evenly with this light watery wash. If you're not used to doing big shapes like this, this will be an interesting challenge, an opportunity for you to grow. If you have a bigger brush to do it, you certainly could try that. I sometimes will wet down a large shape with what's called a hockey brush, so that I have more of a sporting chance of getting the whole thing basically evenly distributed as far as the moisture in the paint goes. Light's getting shifting here. I'm going to call that pretty decent. I know that even though I've been dropping a lot of color up here as I've been going down here, first be quiet, and I'm going to make a thirsty brush. Turn my brush basically into a sponge and go right across like that. A little more out, a little more like that. I'm not dabbing it, like I am giving it the once across and making it sort of its own little brush stroke. Decent, if I do say so. I hope it's in frame. I can see a hair there. I don't care. Scare bear. I can see that I didn't really go to the line there. I don't care. Trying to just really fill this thing up and focus on, like you saw me doing, I'm kind of angling the brush, not too flat, not too perpendicular, about a 30 to 45 degree angle kind of thing. And as long as you have nice paper and lots of water and color in your brush, you can sort of keep adding it. And this 300-pound paper, this is 300-pound fluid, 100 paper, will keep soaking it up. It's kind of cool. Okay, I'm going to let it dry.